Dear students, today we are going to discuss the major differences between unconjugated and conjugated bilirubin. As you know that the total bilirubin in the serum consists of two major parts, the unconjugated bilirubin and the conjugated bilirubin. The conjugated bilirubin is up to zero point 0.8 mg per deciliter, while the unconjugated bilirubin is from 0.025 mg per dl to 0.4 mg per dl. Now the bilirubin which is produced in the macrophages after the breakdown of hemoglobin is the unconjugated bilirubin. It is also called the indirect bilirubin, or we can say it is water insoluble bilirubin. The unconjugated bilirubin is then transported into the hepatocyte, and in the hepatocyte it is combined with two molecules of glucuronic acid with the help of enzyme glucuronyl transferase. Now this form of hemoglobin is known as conjugated bilirubin. It is also called direct bilirubin and it is water soluble. So we can say that the normal serum level of unconjugated bilirubin is more, i.e. up to 0.8 mg per dl, while that of conjugated bilirubin is less than the unconjugated bilirubin, i.e. up to 0.4 mg per dl. The unconjugated bilirubin is water insoluble, while the conjugated bilirubin is water soluble. The unconjugated bilirubin has the affinity for lipids and is also soluble in alcohol, while the conjugated bilirubin is not soluble in lipid or alcohol. Serum albumin binding of unconjugated is high, as you know that it is produced in the macrophages mainly of the spleen. Now from this part, i.e. spleen, it is transported through blood into the hepatocyte for the process of conjugation. So whenever it comes out of the macrophages into the blood, it is combined with albumin for the purpose that it become water stable, and the other reason is that it cannot leave the blood or it cannot enter the tissue. The serum albumin binding of conjugated bilirubin is very low, or we can say no binding with albumin. The Wayne-Denberg reaction is a chemical reaction for the estimation of the direct bilirubin. So the indirect bilirubin can be estimated from the total bilirubin minus direct bilirubin. Renal excretion, as you know that urine mainly consists of water. So the bilirubin which appears in the urine should be water soluble, and the conjugated bilirubin is water soluble. So whenever the bilirubin is present in the urine, you can say that it is a direct bilirubin or conjugated bilirubin, while the renal excretion of unconjugated bilirubin is absent. Affinity to the brain tissue. The unconjugated bilirubin can cause kernicterus, which is bilirubin associated dysfunction of the brain. As you know that it is lipid soluble and it can penetrate into the tissue, so it can cause kernicterus, while the conjugated bilirubin has no affinity to the brain tissue, or we can say it cannot cause kernicterus. Thank you.